on? My name's Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And we're creating an adventure for Dungeons & Dragons using 2024 5th edition rules. Checking my volume here real quick on my channel here. See if it's coming through clearly. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So that should serve us. Let me get that volume down out of the way so it doesn't cause a problem. Eberron campaign. Characters 7th, 8th level. We're fighting undead demon and necromancers in the Carnwood of Carnath on the continent of Corvair. And so we designed, play tested this adventure, and then we wrote it up officially. Me and Andy Headley, who was my co-conspirator and co-writer in creation of this adventure. And then we hired Stuart Braz to proofread and do some lore editing and structural design for the adventure. So he helped us lay out how the adventure is going to sit. Hold on, let me finish getting my shit fixed here. If today ends up being entertaining to you, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here, let me switch this out real quick. There. There you go. I've written a bunch of books on DMsGuild already. Here they all are. They have free previews. Access to my Discord channel where we do playtesting and I share schedules and ideas and thoughts. It's a Discord. Hello. So there you go. And so let me go ahead and get to work here. And let's see. That's all right. There we go. Okay, great. So Stuart Braz helped us with organizing the adventure, proofreading it, and he was our librarian for Eberron as well, and did all the proofreading. So thank you, Stuart. I had to rewrite a lot of the adventure for it to fit into the 16:9 format. It's here. I'll full screen this for you guys. So it fits on a 16:9 device. There's going to be some edges on YouTube chopping it off because YouTube doesn't quite use the same dimensions, but each column is 9:16. The whole document is 16:9, so you can look at a page at a time this way, or you can look at a column at a time this way. Makes it really useful for the device that it was designed to be. It was designed to be looked at through a PDF or on your desktop, 16:9 for use with virtual tabletop. The tablet is great for behind the screen if you're playing in Meat Space, and it's a great side. A tablet's a great side companion, like a sidekick for your main monitor. If your adventure is fitting on the PDF, you can use that to navigate around while you're keeping while you're maintaining your screen space on your desktop. You're preserving that for like me for my Discord channel, so I can keep an eye on whose name is lighting up. Here, I'll show you. Sorry, major distraction here, but I'm kind of having a weird day as it is, so let's just lean into it. So if this is... Come on, buddy. Where are you at? Apparently. There it is. Okay. So if this is our 16:9-ish screen, when I'm running... Here, I'm going to switch to a round eraser. When I'm running, I typically have my... my browser window open with Discord, with names listed here. Here's the Discord screen, blah, 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 blah. So I have the names of all the people that are participating over here on my left side rail, and when you, in Discord, when you talk, this name lights up, it becomes white. So that makes it easy for you to tell who's talking. And then overlaying the rest of this, I have another window open. That's Roll20. So this is our grid combat and stuff, and here's our sidebar where die rolls are being made. So this is how I show. This is the preferences I have for my virtual tabletop setup. Discord chat over here. Roll20. with the map here and like my initiative bar here, and then over here is the roll bar for dice rolls. So that's my control panel when I'm DMing, which is almost always online. And then as a sideboard, so down here on the tabletop, I can have a tablet. Here's my tablet, and I prop my tablet up so it's facing me, and I can use that to navigate around on stuff if I need to. And then between the monitor, my tablet, and me is my dice box. So I like to roll in meat space, so I pop up my dice box. So I have my monitor. Directly in front of my monitor is my dice box. Next to my dice box is my mouse space. That goes to my keyboard. That goes up to my screen, and then on my screen, Discord, Roll20 map, Roll20 dice roller. That's my virtual setup. So I like being able to provide a document in a PDF format that can easily sit in the natural space that I operate inside of. And I think other DMs are that way too. I do not think I am unique in that sense. So I think that's a very common setup for DMing online. Maybe not. You let me know. How do you set up your monitors? You can join my Discord channel down below, and if you do, you can drop a photo or a crappy sketch of how you set up your virtual space. Okay, so what are we doing? So it's a 69-line format. We had to reformat all the text to fit onto the document, and the gaps in the page that naturally appear as a result of the adventure. That's where illustrations go. It's like this feels like it's incomplete. Like so much of the adventure is packed full of space that this is like a hole. Like what was supposed to be there. This gap over here, this is small enough to not really worry about. That's close to margin. But this is large enough to put an illustration in, so there should be an illustration there. So these vignettes that we're doing are just little, hopefully, not overly complicated illustrations that fill the space, add some character and some flavor to the rooms and the encounters that are all throughout here, because most of the text and tech and like maps and technical stuff and charts fills almost all of the visual space on the page. But this is going to let us, so these little vignettes are valuable real estate, because like there's a lot of interesting environmental states that this adventure has. So having space to have a visual representation of what's going on there, like so you can visualize what's this environment look like in my mind, drop it in as illustration. Now the DM starts getting technical flavor, like technical description, guidance on how they should describe the different rooms that they're interacting with. So I really value these vignettes, and I don't think this needs to be that zoomed in. I like that tilt though. So we're making we are going to depict a scroll being scribed from a textbook. So put that down. Just doing the rough sketch right now. That angle's wrong for the book. I'm going to add I'm going to cut this free. And I'm going to add in another layer. Hey, thanks a lot to the Reddit community. I've been posting in Spelljammer and Eberron the work that I've been and Ravnica DM, Ravnica's DMs, and Strixhaven on Reddit. Those subchannels are where I've been. That's where I share a lot of the work that I've published. And when people ask ideas about like how do you in Ravnica every couple months, someone will ask, hey, how do you guys deal with color mana? And it's like, well, here's a whole series of books with free previews that explains how I dealt with mana Color Mana in the 5e game engine. You are most welcome to check it out. If you want to support it, you can buy it, whatever. But I make all my books 100% free for people to be able to read them. You know what the most difficult thing as a third-party content creator of role-playing games is to get somebody to fucking look at your role-playing games. that is even if you're designing in the 5e game engine, it is still difficult to get people to look at your stuff. So I like going to Reddit because people ask questions that I created answers for with the books that I made. Like, I make a book to provide, generally supplements are there to provide an answer. Like in an adventure, the question is, what can my characters do in this game? It's like, here's an adventure, you can go do stuff in this game. What other options might the artificer have? Here's a supplement full of ideas about what an artificer might have, and these are supplements that we build. So people naturally go to Reddit asking questions that supplements are designed to answer the questions for. So I look for hard questions and answer them, and so they become useful. So I go on to Reddit and people ask questions. How would I do X, Y, or Z? You could do X, Y, or Z like this. Here's a whole book about it. Check it out. It has a 100% free preview. Only buy it if you need it, but if you do, it encourages more behavior like this. So I like that setup. It feels like really community friendly, and people give Reddit a hard time for being super toxic. It's just anonymous snark. So people that feel wounded can take out their stress on people anonymously online, and that's just the kind of PvP server that you walk into with Reddit. Reddit's basically a social PvP. So if you have good ideas, people will support it. If you have bad ideas, people will potentially eviscerate you. Some people are kind, but I mean each subreddit has its own culture. But for the most part, you can expect just random chaos to come through occasionally and try to hurt your feelings. So you got to keep your eye out for that. And I think that's I think that's just life. Stuff hurts your feelings in life. So we have to be ready for that kind of stuff. So I do not begrudge the backhanded favor that that snarkiness online provides for people. I'm just tilting the perspective of this book. It's going to I need it to not interfere with the scroll. I feel like this is at a bad angle. I'm going to try squinching it a little bit and see if that adjusts the angle. That's a decent angle considering that none of this is going to be visible on the actual illustration. So I can afford to trim this down, and I am very happy about that. Yeah, this is definitely at the wrong angle. I'm going to skew a little bit. And then I think I want a perspective a little bit more. There, and now we can squinch it a little bit. Now it's starting to take on the right perspective, but I don't like the curve of the book. I want to swell that up a little bit more. Wizards can spend time with their spellbook to scribe scrolls. And in this adventure, Karen the Enchantress is a Emerald Claw cultist. She's a wizard, and she's basically the main cultist in this adventure. His name is Solzu, and he's ex-military intelligence, so he knows about all the secrets of war that Karnath keeps. So they have access to Aether Academy, which is the archive and arcane study collective, basically for necromantic magic in the world. And so they know about this artifact, the Eye of Mabar. They had it in their storehouse archive. It can generate manifest zones, and if left unchecked, will create a permanent portal that will open to the plane of Mabar and let undead, evil, and demons through. So that's bad news for Eberron. But Solzu is a megalomaniac and a narcissist and thinks that he can handle it. So he's attempting to create this portal, and it is killing him. He will die. What happens is the person that performs the ritual basically gets stun locked, holding the ball, holding the artifact, which is like a black beach ball with an eye of Mavar looking out from it like an eyeball. And when you start the ritual, it'll basically stun lock you and take control of you, and perform the ritual non-stop for 46 days until it's completed, unless something stops it. But it needs blood to be able to perform the ritual. So the person performing the ritual can't move, and the Eye of Mabar will kill you by taking hit dice away from you, unless somebody else can feed hit dice to the Eye of Mabar over the course of the 46-day ritual. This 46-day process liquefies, creates a chrysalis of necrotic substance around the person that's performing the ritual, and it slowly dissolves the body of the person performing the ritual, kind of like in a butterfly cocoon chrysalis. And when the ritual completes, they're reformed into a Yugoloth that is capable of that's native to the plane of Mavar. So this eye is basically an egg that hatches new Ultraloths, which are CR12 masterminds of the Yugoloth type of fiend. It's like the pit fiend of Yugoloths. And this Eye of Mabar is designed to generate manifest zones that create portals to the plane of Mabar. And part of the process of doing that is to create a new Ultraloth that basically commands that portal. Basically becomes like the guardian and shepherd of that portal. And so they shepherd through undead and other Ultraloth to destroy the world. That's the plan. So Solzu doesn't know that's the plan of the Eye. It doesn't know it's going to turn him into an Ultraloth. Once it starts, it's bad. When the ritual started and this chrysalis process began, Karen's like, dude, this is dangerous. Like, you sure this is what we want to do? It looks really, really fucking dangerous. And Solzu's like, no, I got this. And Karen's like, I don't think you... Okay, sure. But she has to feed hit dice to the ritual so it doesn't kill Solzu so he can complete the ritual. Because if you die before the ritual completes, the manifest zone collapses and the artifact goes inert again. And so it's basically if you can generate 46 hit dice off of yourself, like if you have 46 hit dice, the ritual can turn you into an Ultraloth. Congratulations, you're now a god. But most people don't have 40. Most 20th level characters only have 20 hit dice. They can't survive that because you don't get to take any long rests during those 46 days. It kills you from exhaustion and liquefying you into necrotic ooze and then reforming you into an Ultraloth. I mean, all that stuff is lethal. But the point is that you have to be incredibly powerful or incredibly organized to be able to actually pull off hatching a new Ultraloth from this artifact. And so Karen's like, okay, well, we'll feed hit dice to it. So they started kidnapping villagers, and so there's been a 20 some odd villagers that have been sacrificed to this thing over 46 days, and the local villages are like, yeah, there's people like farmhouses are empty, people are disappearing from this place. What the hell is going on? And all the furriers and all the trappers in the forest have been kidnapped and sacrificed. Their original plan was they hired a mercenary squad to keep locals away and to corral any undead that manifest as a result of the ritual casting. And so once they realized how many little communities have sprouted up along the edge of the Carnwood, as a result of the war ending, there's a whole bunch of people that can go back to farming now. But the farmland has been overran with halflings and dinosaurs from the Talenta Plains for the past 500 years. Karnath hasn't been minding its southeast border like it should. So now that the last war is over, they can get back to policing their land, and it is overrun with halfling, dinosaur riding halflings. So the breadbasket, like the heartland area of Karrnath, is the open plains. Those aren't available right now for them to populate. So people need food. So they've been laying down villages, like farming communities, wherever they can, and now they're spreading to the Karnwood. And we know the Karnwood is haunted. It has undead in it. There's manifest zones in the Karnwood. But a lot of these refugees are from Sire that are settling down, and the government's like, we don't care who you are, where you're from. If you start making food here and help us repopulate, you're Karrnath. So a bunch of Sire people from Sire, whether they're military or not, that survived the day of mourning by not being in. Hey, what's up? 1 second, let me finish this thought. By not being in Sire when Sire disappeared, they're now stranded in Karrnath. And since the day of mourning ended the last war, these people these basically refugees from Sire that don't have anywhere else to go, they can now settle into Karrnath and swords to plowshares. As long as you're farming and helping us regrow, you are consider yourself Karrnath. That could lead to all sorts of problems, but in this adventure, it's just this quiet little community of Karrnath and Siren refugees that are basically building farms together and healing wounds. But now they're being kidnapped and sacrificed for the undead ritual. So cheers to that. Hey, what's up? Uni, Stone and Art. Well, welcome to the mix, my dude. Interesting story here. I'm mixing the actual history of the Eberron campaign setting and the background lore that this adventure is built on. So all that stuff is laid out in the first few pages of starting the adventure. And then it's like, background, like who the different factions are, what's the timeline of what's going on here, what is the artifact, what's its involvement with Aether Academy. I basically resolve that in 2 pages. And those pages have illustrations on them, so they're worth looking at. But yeah, the 3 major factions are the Villagers, the Emerald Claw Cultists performing the ritual, and the Red Wolf Mercenaries, who they hired to keep the villagers away, keep any interlopers away. And the Red Wolf Mercenary in the last war, they were a Karrnath military unit that was specialized in policing undead that were created on the battlefield. Like after the battle was over, if they won and undead remained, you had to corral the undead so they didn't just keep killing stuff. So they the Red Wolves were they basically hunted down and captured and retrieved undead. So they got hired by the Emerald Claw Necromancers to deal with the undead that are going to spawn inside of the Manifest Zone. There happens to be a cemetery in this Manifest Zone. So when the magic gets powerful enough, all the dead rise and they start wandering out to attack villages. So the Red Wolves are supposed to contain the threat, but there's way more dead people here than they thought. So they are undermanned. But the original plan was to sacrifice mercenaries to the ritual because they're going to lose them during undead anyway. So occasionally they'll go out and instead of pretend that they got killed by undead and kidnap them and then take them down and then sacrifice them. But now that there's all these little villages, they hadn't anticipated how many there were. So oh my God, there's tons of people here. We can just sacrifice them instead and keep our military force strong in case something goes sideways. Hey, what's up? Hey, Gabby, it's good to see you. It's a good point. The Sire people running away and such. Very cool background. Hey, thank you very much. So yeah, so the main plot. This is coming along pretty nicely. I feel like I need to skew this just a smidge to help it fit into the perspective, but I don't think it's too far off. I think it's at a point that I can. Yeah, and now if I can, there we go. I tend to trim my borders right along the edge of the text, leaving this margin open if I can. If the illustration is going to pour across multiple columns, I don't mind having that fill in the gap. But I think that's a good space for it. It's kind of squeezing into the scroll a little bit though, so let's back that down. And let's see if I can That should do. That'll do, pig. And then we'll bring that forward a smidge. Let's see. I think I want to change the perspective here. Am I caught up? Are you gonna right on? Yeah. So the plot. There are 6 different plot hooks in this adventure, and depending on how you need to use it in your campaign, you can pick from those different plot hooks. And if you're a professional DM and you're using this as like a mid-level one-shot adventure for a potential new table that will be hiring you, it's designed to have replayability. So you can roll a d6 and if you're running this as like a one-shot or like an isolated adventure, you could roll a d6 to decide what your character's background and plot line is in this adventure. If you wanted to make it more of a competitive thing, you could have each person roll a d6, and whatever they roll, that's their plot, and they don't necessarily have to tell everybody else what their goals are in the adventure, or even what their real identity is. There's different plot hooks have different goals. Some of the plot hooks want to destroy the Eye of Mabar, the artifact that's created in the Manifest Zone. Other people, the Ader Academy plot hook, like sorry, I'm fucking around with this perspective here. It's just kind of a little wonky on me. And maybe I think we need a little bit of this. The default plot hook is that your characters are deputized by Fort Bastion to answer to go investigate complaints of missing people in an undocumented village along the Carnwood. Of course, people are going missing, but you can't. I mean, but we've gotten a number of complaints that people have traveled like 200 miles to complain, hey, we're losing people. We don't know what the hell is going on. So by the time you get there, so I think 120 miles. It's a few days ride from Fort Bastion to get to this place, and so it took time for somebody to come out here on more than one occasion to say, hey, there's something freaky going on out here. We need help. And so they're like, okay, great, but we don't have the manpower to help go chase ghosts in the fucking Carnwood because the sheriffs and most of the active force of Fort Bastion are in the Talenta Plains fighting halflings on the back of dinosaurs like the Wild West. And so they're like, we're down people. So they'll hire local adventurers that aren't helping in the Talenta Plains to go investigate. So they get deputized, they get a badge, which gives them the legal authority to ask anyone anything. And if they don't like who they are, kill them if necessary. So the team has legal authority there to ask pointy questions, and the village will immediately appreciate them being there. So now they have a base of operations while they explore the Carnwood. And once they get into the Carnwood, they find the mercenaries. The mercenaries, the Carnath doesn't need undead wranglers in the military anymore. Undeath has been taken out of the equation as a result of the Treaty of Thronehold. So Carnath no longer creates undead to build in their armies, so they don't need the Red Wolf mercenaries, so they all got decommissioned. But there's still a lot of undead out there, so they took up a mantle as a mercenaries guild, specialized in resolving undead issues, and one of our first clients happened to have an undead problem in the Carnwood. Hell yeah, let's get into this. So they get there, and when the deputies, your characters, arrive and people are missing, they can start asking, like, if they don't attack first, ask questions later with the Red Wolf mercenaries. They can flash a badge. It's like, hey, we're looking for missing people in the area. And as they dig into the terrain, as they get further into the Manifest Zone with the Red Wolves that they pick up, they can ask more and more questions and find out more and more problem. And as undead start rising from the earth to attack people, it's like, wow, this is a problem. And they're like, yeah, we think there's a problem here, and they're actually looking for an excuse to get out of their contract. But if they bail on the fucking Emerald Claw, they're dead. They are dead. So they need plausible deniability to get the hell out of here. And your character's arrival is a miracle to them. It's like, oh my god, we have an out. we are legally required. If we want to keep our adventuring contract, like our license to be adventurers, an adventuring guild, we have to comply with this. So they are more than happy to work with you if your characters don't kill first, ask questions later. But you could also be sent from Ader Academy to try to quietly retrieve the artifact, and they give you a device that you can take pictures with. It's an image crystal. If you look through it as a magic action, you can capture what you're looking through the image of the crystal to be trapped in the crystal as a hologram. So as if, like, hold up to a light, it's as if you were looking through that crystal in the room. It's a Polaroid. So you get a Polaroid that you can take pictures of to show evidence of the crimes of stealing the artifact and them using the ritual. Ader Academy will fund you to do this and provide you with all the resources that you need, and even plane shift you into the dungeon where the ritual is being performed. As deputies, you don't know shit, so you're coming in and you have to find the dungeon in the manifest zone in the Carnwood with monsters trying to attack you. Like, what the fuck is going on? But Ader Academy is like, here's what's going on. And they tell you what's going on. It's like, we need you to go fetch that thing quietly and collect evidence about who did this so that if we can prosecute, we will. So so you can mix those two plot hooks together, or you can have them operate independently. And then the Church of the Silver Flame just wants them dead. And I should separate this. The Silver Flame and the Gatekeepers, the Druid sect, the Gatekeepers, they both want to kill whoever has this artifact. Fucking get rid of them. Don't let this happen. And then where's the, no, this is blank. Get rid of that one. Sorry, I don't mean to neglect you guys. I'll catch up with you in a minute. There. Okay, cool. Is my fever days break from reading Quickstone enough? Oh, right on. What's level? It's level 7 and 8. By the end of it, you're supposed to be 9th level, and then you take over this region as the deputies. Like, you're now the sheriff for the villages that are being affected. You can use the fortress where the ritual takes place in as your bastion. You'll be given a stipend from Fort Bastion to create a Fort Bastion over here. And you'll get like a 10,000 gold a month stipend to hire. You can hire the Red Wolf mercenaries if they help you. You can hire them as soldiers to man the barracks in your bastion. Super fucking cool. So it's 7th and 8th level. And if it's a one-shot, run it at 8th level. If you come in through the front door, start at 7th level. And then throughout the course of the adventure, like once you get into the manifest zone, you can gain a level. Or after you battle, you can just, however you're pacing out monsters attacking you from the manifest zone into the Carnwood to the village. You have plenty of combat adventures during there, and adventure and exploration stuff that you can do to rack up experience points. And then once you start getting into the manifest zone and fucking off the undead there, you can gain a level. And then you go back in, and you can then go through the dungeons that get you to the ritual, and then you defeat the ritual, and you reclaim the artifact, and then you get all your treasure rewards that were promised to you by your plot hook, and you proceed from there. So 9th level is a really good, like that Dominion style of play clicks in at 9th level in Beckme. So I wanted to make it 9th level to reflect that. I'm debating between reading Eberron Quickstone and reading or Pathfinder 2 read. Well, Gabby, how's your Eberron? Weren't you going to be running an Eberron campaign for your family, or are you guys switching gears to Pathfinder? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, yeah. If you need to take a break, fucking take a break. And the PF2 player's guide is highly technical, so it's a very different. It's a very different gear of brain power that you're using, absorbing Pathfinder 2 rules versus reading the setting of Quickstone, right? Very different vibe. So cheers to that. Yeah, absolutely, go for it. I bounced off of Pathfinder 2 so hard. I was a huge 3.5 fan, massive 3.5 fan, and so Pathfinder 1 was easy. When they stopped making when they stopped making 3rd edition, we played Pathfinder. We played Pathfinder Dark Sun using all 3.5 stuff and anything from Pathfinder 3, from Pathfinder 1 that you wanted. And it hadn't sprawled so much. It only had a few splat books at the time, so that was super fun. And then we got into Numenera as a completely different system because we bounced off 4th edition. It just didn't vibe. It did not vibe the way they took all the actual decision making out of the game. Like you don't have a spell book anymore. You've got powers like daily once per encounter and once per round powers in 4th edition, and that just didn't. It was fine it was great for the marshals, the fighters, the rogues, and stuff like that. Like if they had kept the 4E mentality in 5th edition, there would be far less martial caster divide. But what really made it feel weird for me is that spellcasters don't prepare spells. They just get like 2 or 3 powers to prepare from every level, and it went to 30th level. And I really liked the 20 level progression that 3rd edition established. Even though 2nd edition, 1st edition, and Red Box, which I played for decades, I've been DMing for 38 years. So I spent a shitload of time with Red Box BECME, like BX. I got into BECME, but never was able. I could never get a campaign up to the companion. Like I could never get characters past 12th level. So I was stuck at the BX area of it. But I was familiar with Companion, Masters, and Immortals, and your characters went to level 36 in BECME, and they went to level 30 in 4th level in 4th edition. But I didn't like how 4th edition felt because you didn't have any spell. You couldn't prepare any spells. It's like the magic doesn't it didn't conjuration, abjuration, necromancy, all that shit pretty much went away. And there was no picking a bunch of spells. It was 2 or 3 powers per level for 30 levels, and the whole it was just a page of little index card abilities. And that's the problem I had with Pathfinder 2 is that it's just pages and pages of index cards, little index card graphics of abilities, and they're all so similar to each other that they're just technical variants. It's like Pathfinder 2 and 4E is expertise as a rogue feature. It would be choose 2 skills that you know, and you can now double your proficiency modifier. But in Pathfinder 2 and 4E very much feels the same. It's feat tree hell. So it's you gain expertise in wood carving. You gain expertise in artisan tool. You gain expertise in investigation and search. You gain expertise in picking locks and tinker tools. You gain expertise in arcane and investigation. Just 40 of those. And then you have expertise in longsword. It's ooh, fuck off. I can't read that. It's an impenetrable list of feats that requires system mastery to make the right decisions. And that is a deeper dive than I was willing to make for Pathfinder 2. And 4E wasn't that bad, but it was very much a similar experience. It just didn't feel like D&D, so I just bounced off it. So instead, hey, let's do a hard shift. Let's go play Numenera instead. I don't need the sketch anymore. And so we played an Eberron campaign using Numenera, and that was so fucking fun. My God, Eberron campaign setting using the cipher system is amazing. Because Eberron is all about building kingdoms upon kingdoms upon kingdoms and eldritch machines that we don't understand the magics and all sorts of crazy planar magic that creates weird effects. And in this adventure, the Manifest Zone gets so powerful that it starts plants from the bar start replacing the forest and the carnwood. So you have all this alien biology that's starting to exist inside the Manifest Zone that they brought alchemists in to see what kind of what kind of alchemical formulas they can create from the plants that are spawning there. So they're creating there's this mushroom called emerald caps that if you effectively boil it for a while and boil it down into a sludge, you can use that sludge and you can wipe it on your eye and you gain night vision until you take a short rest or a long rest. So the night vision could last all day for you if you can persevere. But while that stuff remains in your eyes, if you rest, it just naturally just leaks out of your eyes and it stops. So you got to get another dose. But you wipe this shit in your eyes, and it gives you night vision. It's like that's super. Like, can you imagine a military unit of humans that if you just wipe their eyes with goop, they can now have night vision, so you don't need any light sources when you do an assassination vision. Super cheap. It's like 50 gold piece alchemical formula, which is so much less than a third level. What level is dark vision? I think it's second level. Like that required that, and you can only do that potion is like 400 gold. This is a super cheap potion that lasts longer than the dark vision potion. So it's super, like there's money to be made there. And if you have a bunch of human cultists, undead cultists that are all human that want to perform political assassination, the last thing you want to do is give them easy access to night vision. So like that alone is like, yeah, let's grow the fuck out of nightcaps. Like there's a bunch of stuff in here, different weird plants that like skeletons that are incomplete, that can't form an undead skeleton. Instead, they grow out of the ground like swords. So it creates ferric ivy, which the ferric is from the bones of the blood of the bones. But it's as hard as steel. But a druid could druid craft it and reshape it into some sort of material object. So you can make armor with it. So a druid that doesn't want to use metal could use ferric ivy to create bone armor around themselves. How fucking Karnath sick is that? So there's just there's patches of this throughout the Karnwood where unmarked graves of incomplete skeletons from past experiments in the manifesto. This was they originally found and started experimenting with the Eye of Mabar in a manifest zone deep in the Karnwood. So that's why there's this dungeon here. It was an experiment. It was an undead experiment facility that got mothballed when there was a huge slaughter of 250 soldiers that died trying to prevent an undead horde coming through the plane of the portal to Mabar that they were creating originally. So they were like, yeah, this is too dangerous. We got to mothball this project. And since Zolzu was military intelligence, he had access to Ader Academy during the last war. And when the Emerald Claw became illegal, basically became war criminals and a terrorist organization, Solzu needed to cash in on as much information as he had as fast as possible so that he could go to Argentina and not get killed as a Nazi. So he's like, I know Ader Academy. I spent ridiculous amounts of time there during furloughs to study up on what power we have for what's our next military weapon going to be. That's Ader Academy's job. But they had mothballed the Eye of Mabar, but Solzu knew about it because of his access to the archives. So when he became a criminal, he basically pulled some favors, hired the 12, which is like an archmage, what is it? Council of Doom, like the Justice League versus the Council of Doom. The 12 is the Council of Doom for Eberron. So Solzu got backing from the 12 because he figured that we're going to get magic and they're going to want it, and that's going to give us power. So they made a deal with the 12 to fund their operation, and then once they had their operation up and running, they basically blocked access to the facility by destroying the magic circle, the teleportation circle that they were using with the 12 to operate. So the circle goes down, the 12 are cut off. An alternate plot hook is they hire you to go get the teleportation circle back up and running, and they give you the stuff that you need to make that happen, and they'll teleport you as close to the circle as they can get to, but the circle is down, so they have to plane shift you, and plane shift is notoriously unreliable for where it's going to land you. So there's different points in the adventure that you can land or start. The gatekeepers bring you in through a tree stride ritual. That's like the closest tree to the source of the manifest zone. That's where they're sending you to. But that tree is like in Poltergeist, the movie Poltergeist. It's an evil demon tree. So you spawn into the grasp of this evil oak tree that tries to claw you apart. You have to fight your way out of the oak to be able to then be in the manifest zone and go try to find the artifact and destroy it and kill everyone that's involved. That's what the gatekeepers want you to do. Because they're like, we can't have you punching holes through reality into the plane of Mavar. That's fucked. You are so offsides. You are dead. So like these are the different plot hooks that are inside of it that you can choose from, or like what kind of characters do you have? Use that plot hook. And these are in the appendix. So in the appendix, you have like the base. The entire adventure is designed around being deputized, but if you choose one of these alternate plot hooks, it changes a number of pieces of the adventure. So there, in the appendix, each plot hook has a few pages. Like, this is how this adventure changes. This is how this encounter changes. You can have this encounter instead if you're using this plot hook. And all of them have these alternate plot hooks. And then you can use all those plot hooks to pick and choose what kind of adventures. Like, if you want to have a rival team show up to fight you, if you're like Ader Academy and you're trying to rescue, retrieve the artifact, and then the 12 shows up and they want to keep the ritual going but replace the people that are there, you're at odds with each other. So if you're with Ader Academy, the assassination team that's trying to get to the eye might find you first and try to kill you as a rival, and then you have to go fight the Red Wolves if you fight them, or blah blah blah. So like the 12 has to fight the Red Wolves. Ader Academy can potentially get help from the Red Wolves, but they're unofficial. So the Red Wolves can be like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, and then they could become enemies. But only the default plot hook, Deputized, gives you the most social encounters that feign away from combat if you choose. But could be a bloodbath if you want. You could easily make enemies with the Red Wolf and kill all of them, only to realize at the end it's like, oh wait a second, these guys are actually kind of cool. But if you go in guns blazing, you can fight everything and have shitloads of combat. Or you can have the combat and then go through social and exploration encounters where you're either trying to hide from the Red Wolves or negotiate with them to give you access to stuff. So it has a lot of flexibility. And I'm rambling a lot today and not getting a lot of artwork done. I'm sorry about that. I need to go find a color reference. I shoot the sheriff. I'm sorry, I completely neglected you guys. Savage Worlds, Sean, or Telenia Plains Adventure with... Yeah. Telenia Plains for Savage World would be good. There either huge... Yes, there are. Yes. Yeah, they are different. It's a very technical game. Check your trees. It's a modular... Exactly. That's the way I like to think. So this is the first adventure I've ever published. I've done a number of like lairs and mini dungeons in other people's products, but I've never actually done my own. And so I wanted to like this is the way I like to think about dungeons. And this hold on, let me find what I'm looking for. I think it's page 90. No, it's page I think it's 92 to 94 is what I want. No, it's not. No, yeah. This should be it. Yeah. This is what I wanted. Here's the Ader Academy plot hook. These are all the lab interns that have gone missing from Ader Academy. They're now working for the Emerald Claw, concocting all the alchemical formulas. So and if you're using the 12 plot hook, some of them are spies from from the 12 trying to infiltrate the necromancers to get eyes on what's going on with that artifact and the rituals. And they have a sending stone that they can feed to the same guy that hires your characters to go in and activate the teleportation circle. Because these guys, one of them gets caught and killed, sacrifice, and the other one runs away. And so you could end up running into them. They'll tell you what they know, which is really useful information if you end up outside of the manifest zone as a result of the plane shift. But I came over here to screenshot this. Copy. Oops, I want to copy like this because I want to import these colors into the books that we're working on right now. So it's a 17 by 9 format. So it's designed for use on tablets and monitors. I don't see color, so I can't do color prints. I can't proof them. So if I'm going to do color, I can do it in Photoshop because I figured out how to see color in Photoshop. But I can't like paint in real. I can't paint like with an easel because I can't mix colors. And if I were to do digital painting And when I'm sent the proofs, I can't verify if the colors look right or not. And if they don't, I wouldn't know how to fucking fix them, because I can't do art. I can't do color in the real world. I can use the RGB slider over here and color pickers to pull the color that I need, and I get all my color that I need from references and photographs that I import into Photoshop, and I use the RGB slider to tell me what color it is. I know that this is like a yellowish color, which is fine for a page. So vellum. So I'm going to close this because I don't need this anymore, but I needed that vellum color because I'm going to start adding color. This isn't crisp art yet, but I want to get the color down to make sure that the feel of it is good. So we're just going to drop in here as a base. Yeah, completely colorblind. I have it's called achromatopsia. I have no cones in my eye. So I'm always on night vision, which is why I squint so much, because it's blind, like the world is blindingly bright to me. And I don't see any color, so I'm on permanent gray vision. And so my sense of contrast is really strong. Like, look at here's a point. Look at how I designed this character. It's light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. It oscillates between light and dark, so it creates these like paneling effects. Dark, light, mid-tone, dark, light, dark, light, dark shadow, light hair, mid-tone background, fades into light, goes into dark, mid-tone. So I have this striation effect that I normally integrate into a piece. Like, a piece feels good to me when it has this clicking of light to dark, light to dark, light to dark, because I've got, like, that's the only thing that I work in. So I like having a lot of polarization like that. But then I can find, like, I know this is the tone that I want to use, the gray tone that I want. So now I got to go find a color that matches that gray tone. And this is the color that matches that gray tone. So I know from the RGB sliders, this is yellow. I know this is yellow. I know this is purple. I know this is a type of green. And this triangle down here tells me be careful about what that green is. Back it off to something that feels a little bit more realistic. I know this is yellow. I know this is red. I know this is blue. This is probably something close to a flesh tone. Maybe not. I don't know. I have to go pick flesh tones off of photographs. And so this oscillation thing that happens, I don't care what race or gender the character is normally. What I want is a skin tone that's going to match this oscillation. So I knew that I wanted him to be old and scholarly, so I wanted white hair, so blacker skin would show up better. So I think I grabbed a Jamaican, a picture of a Jamaican villager, or I don't remember what the prompt was, but I asked Google, give me a picture of a Jamaican guy, old Jamaican. That's what it was, and I got one in the sunlight to get the strong polarization there. So, like, the species is highly debatable in D&D, and the skin tone and like the ethnicity that I'm presenting is usually just whatever the composition is. Whatever's going to look best. If I need white skin, let's make them Viking. If I need dark skin, I could go Peruvian. I could go, if I need a mid-tone, I can go Asian or like light Mexican, Hispanic, Peruvian, Portuguese, like a Brazilian, where they have the Portuguese and Peruvian mix. So they can have like really like Caucasian like light skin variants. A lot of fun different cultural stuff you can play with, and that's all dictated by the color oscillation. So, thank you. Yeah, I know, right? It's a trick. It's a trick. I'm not great with saturation. I'm just starting to understand the ideas of warm and cold colors, but I haven't. It's all math theory to me. So I don't know how to properly, like, I can't do it properly. So I'll never be a top-notch artist. But so I understand my limitations, and I operate within my parameters. So when I make PDFs for D&D, I never intend for them to be printed. So I don't have to conform to prints. So I can do a PDF that's in the format of the device that you're going to look at it on. This fits really nicely on a tablet, and using a tablet behind the DM screen means that you can use it in meat space. the technology is caught up to my visual limitations, and I can now use that to build unique, like to build it. And since it's designed to be a PDF, like these are navigation buttons down here. So if you click that, this will take you to the village. This will take you to the Carnwood. This will explain how the manifest zone works. Here's the cemetery, the flooded fort, and the gatehouse in the manifest zone, which will take you down to Area 3, which is talking about the Nexus region, where the manifest zone is at. And this is the actual Nexus inside. This is the dungeon inside of the Nexus zone. Here's Appendix A, where we talk about monsters. Here's Appendix B, where we talk about new plants and items and magic stuff and the artifact. And here's Appendix C, where all the additional plot hooks are at, and how to change the adventure, and how to continue the adventure, and how to make an entire campaign from up to level 20, using this adventure as a foundation. And I run campaigns from level 1 to 20 in about 270 hours. So I've ran 3 campaigns from level 1 to 20 using the 5e game engine, using this scale, using this plot anchor idea. So I wanted to build this adventure to have a lot of various plot points. I'm gonna grab a book cover back here, so that it creates a versatile environment that different types of campaigns can bounce into, and get you into Karrnath if you needed a reason to be in Karrnath. If you're with Gatekeepers, this adventure puts you in Karrnath. Go for it. Hang around here, do whatever it is that you need. That's that sort of stuff. I think Darkest Dungeon theme West Marches campaign. Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to run a quick stone campaign where the characters are the sheriffs in town, and there's I think I wouldn't use Quickstone exactly, but there's like a gold mine, and the railroad track is coming in, but you're sheriffs, and there's marauders coming out of Droam, out of the what is it, the Iron Peaks? No, the Iron Wall, is that what it's called? I don't remember. The mountain ridge between Droam and Brayland. Whatever monsters are in there, and then have the gold mine, so that raiders are going to want to come and try to steal gold. And then your characters are the sheriffs, so you're trying to prevent anything from going wrong with the gold mine, while dealing with all the bullshit that a Western sheriff would have to deal with in a Western movie. So you're basically given dominion over the area. Your bastion is the sheriff's fort, and people in the town are either there working for you and your bastion, or they're part of the growing town that's booming as a result of the gold that's found, or there's like miners there, so there's mining guilds that are potentially rival factions that might try to conceal information from the deputies that your characters are. So I'd love to run a campaign like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And my music stopped. I don't know why it's not. Thank you, Jesus. What time is it? Shit. So I am almost out of time this morning. I stream from roughly 6:30 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. till 8 a.m. Monday through Fridays. And then we do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights. So I'm going to be back on. I got to cut out of here in a few minutes, but I'm going to be back on in about 10 hours. We're going to continue working on the Eberron Spelljammer Orbital campaign, where the town, there's a number of asteroid belts, asteroid mines in orbit around Eberron, and the characters are the security detail that protects the asteroid colonies from being attacked by kaiju. So it's Spelljammer, it's mecha like Gundam and Evangelion, it's kaiju like Pacific Rim, and it's using the Bastion campaign for their flying citadel that they use to patrol the area. And we're using Bastions to frame all the communities, all the asteroid communities. We're building them using the Bastion system that I developed. And yeah, so we're fleshing out all the details. We're going to be mapping 2 of the asteroid colonies today using the Bastion mechanics that I have. and we should. We'll probably get through one of those today, and then on Monday next week we'll finish the last one, and then on Thursday we'll keep building more kaiju and seeing and then filling any of the gaps for the mecha options that might be necessary. I think the mecha are done though, so but we need more kaiju to put on a random table of kaiju attacks. So fix my screen. Yeah, man. Stick around. I've been doing this for years. My Discord channel's down below if you want to post your artwork there, or if you're into D&D and you want to talk shop, or if you're interested in playtesting any of the stuff that I'm doing in the future. Anyone is welcome to drop in and hang out with me on Discord. I do playtesting Saturday afternoon. I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights and Saturday morning. And on my Discord is where we're going to be running the Spelljammer Eberron Kaiju Mecha Bastion campaign. So yeah, we made progress today. We'll finish this tomorrow probably. I'm going to. I've got just a little bit more work to do. I do work on this in the evenings when I'm not on stream, but I expect to have all the artwork dropped into the book and have all the maps hyperlinked throughout the document. I can start. I think I can start hyperlinking tomorrow. So this weekend, I'll start integrating maps and hyperlinking stuff, and I'll show you that to you guys on Monday, like how I build the hyperlinks inside of a PDF. I'll show that to you guys. So you'll see that on Monday, and hopefully we'll finish this on tomorrow. And if not, I'll finish it over the weekend when I'm not on stream. We'll start on it. We got 6 more pieces after this one. So. Here's the other 6 pages that we need to do art, and once we finish those, it's done. And by the time we finish these 6 pieces, I'll have already added in all the artwork into the book, and it's just waiting for another piece to be done for me to grab and then drop into the book. So we are about to be done with this. I think 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half, probably like maybe around February 10th, somewhere around probably Valentine's Day. I bet this will be published on Valentine's Day. So. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Gabby, thanks a lot for hanging out, sister. Appreciate you. And, yeah, that's it. See you guys tonight. Bye.